Good morning. This is Shelley Brownell, Senior Marketing Director for Cornerstone, and we're welcoming you this morning to our webinar series. And we have today's guest is Shannon Ellerkamp with Benefit Marketing Solutions. We refer to it as BMS, located in Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby coming up here, 150th anniversary for those of you who are keeping track. And we are excited to have them as a new vendor partner. We've seen a lot of change in the landscape with the third-party administrators who handle our COBRA, HRA, HSA, plan documents, etc. And so we are very excited to bring a local tri-state partner here. And with that, I will turn it over to Lindsay, who is going to run the slides for us. And Shannon, as soon as that's up, you can take it away.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Shelley. Just real quickly, I will introduce myself. Again, my name is Shannon Ellerkamp with BMS, and we are a TPA out of Louisville. We just have our one office here in Louisville, Kentucky. So we again are like a local TPA. We try to keep that local small business feel and keep that in line with our services that we provide. And thank everyone for having me here. I've been with the company for 16 years now, just had my 16th year anniversary. So I'm our Vice President of Marketing, which includes marketing, sales, account management. I will be your go-to for any questions that you have regarding BMS and our services and your current or potential clients with us. So the first offering that we have with BMS is the simple Section 125 premium only plan. This is just preparation of the required Section 125 documents that the IRS says your clients have to have in place in order to legally withhold employees' eligible premiums pre-tax from payroll. So BMS just offers preparation of those documents. They are all compliant. They have all the required language. We prepare those and then provide electronic copies to the employer. We can also furnish those at any time throughout the year. And our services for that also include customer service for any Section 125 related questions that you or your clients might have, regarding qualified change in status, things such as that. We include that with our POP services as well. And the fees on that are pretty straightforward since we're just preparing the plan documents. We do have a one-time setup fee to get that implemented, and then we update the documents on an annual basis with the current plan year dates and any updated language just to make sure that everything is current and in compliance. We charge a $150 annual renewal fee for that. Again, that includes our customer service and preparation of those documents. No monthly fee here charged for the Section 125 POP plans, since the rest of it is really just a payroll function. And then off of Section 125, we roll into flexible spending accounts. We just have a quick slide here on what FSAs are for anyone that may not be super familiar with those. They again fall under Section 125, and it allows employees to set aside pre-tax money from their paycheck to pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. They also have the option, if the employer offers it, to set aside pre-tax dollars for qualified dependent daycare expenses. That includes children and adult dependents. The FSA saves not only the employee money in setting aside those pre-tax dollars, but the employer is getting the matching FICA savings there as well. So it's advantageous for both. Typically, depending on which tax bracket the employee falls into, they're saving anywhere from 20 to 30 cents on the dollar for every dollar they contribute to the FSA. And again, since these are under Section 125, they are elections that are locked in for the year. They can only be changed if there's a qualifying change in status or qualifying event. FSAs are also not portable. They are ultimately owned by the employer. Employees do not take those benefits with them if they were to leave employment. But the health FSA, as well as a limited FSA, those are both COBRA eligible benefits. And we'll skip through this slide here. It just explains some of the details on the FSA. Not real important to our presentation today, but it's here just if anyone wants to refer back to this with questions on details of the health FSA or dependent care FSA. We have those in here, such as rules on use it or lose it. Okay, so BMS FSA administration. This includes the required plan documents. Again, section 125, we have to have those plan documents in place. And with our FSAs, we include all of the section 125 language. So it covers the client as far as the pre-taxing of premiums under the simple POP, as well as the required language for the flexible spending account itself. We provide any routine updates that are necessary as far as rule changes that the IRS or the DOL make to section 125 and flexible spending accounts. We are always staying on top of those and notifying clients of any updates that they need to be aware of. We have a dedicated customer service staff. Again, BMS tries to keep that hometown local feel. When participants or clients are calling in to our office, they're going to talk to the same few people all the time. They get to know our reps. They know who to ask for. They're not going to a call center. They're not being put on hold for minutes or God forbid, hours at a time. They're getting an answer right away or within 24 hours. If it's something that we have to research, that is our goal here, is to have a response to everyone within 24 hours. If it takes longer than that, we reach out and let somebody know that we're working on it and that it may be a little longer, but we put a lot of emphasis on our response time and our customer service. We know that can be hard to come by in this day and age, so we do that and feel like it sets us apart from some other TPAs. Our fees include an employer-only website. All of our employer clients, as well as brokers, are able to gain access to the employer site for their particular group. This allows submission of eligibility changes, including any new enrollments, any terminations, change in elections. Those can all be submitted via the employer site. There's also numerous amounts of reports available. Later in the presentation, we'll have a few screenshots of the employer site and what that looks like. It's very user-friendly. Lots of reports available out there, utilization reports, enrollment reports, reports of debit cards mailed, anything that the employer or the broker could need to have information on. There are reports available out at the employer site. We also have the availability of transfer of FSA deposits via ACH, or we can accept those via check. So the employer funding for the flexible spending accounts can be drafted by BMS, or the employer can send us a check. We have options there. We are also integrated with Employee Navigator if anyone and their client uses Navigator. If not, we can also accept EDI feeds from any other carrier. As long as they can submit it in our format, we can accept it. And at this time, we do not have any charge for EDI feeds. We accept those free of charge. So any groups that you have using that, we can certainly implement for FSA, COBRA, HSA, whichever benefits they have with us. And then for employees on the FSA, they get daily claims processing and review by BMS. We're doing that on a daily basis. And then twice a week, we are processing reimbursements. So for any expenses where an employee doesn't use a debit card, which we do provide for everyone, they're getting their claim reimbursements very quickly. We offer ACH direct deposit of those. There's no charge for the employee to set it up. So if they'd prefer to get direct deposit instead of a reimbursement check, we will set that up for them. They just fill out a quick form. We have an employee-only website, a mobile app. We also accept claims via fax, email, or snail mail. We still accept in all of those ways. So employees have various different options for the way they can contact and submit information to us. all participants, again, do have access to a participant-only website that they can get on 24/7 to review their claims, check their FSA balance, pull reports and history of their debit card payments. They can also contact BMS directly through the website. Anything they may need is available on that website as well as on our free mobile app. And then we do, again, include free FSA debit cards for all of our clients. That's built right into our fees. And of course, that makes accessing FSA funds as easy and convenient as possible. Okay, so our setup fee is $500 for the FSA. And when we implement an FSA, it can include the health option, the limited FSA option, and or the dependent care option. There's no additional fees to include those other options in there. It's all under that one setup fee. And then our monthly administrative fee is $525 per participating employee per month. That does include the debit card, which is 2 initial cards for a participant, and then up to 2 additional cards free of charge. At this time, we do not charge extra fees for extra debit cards under an employee's account. We do have a $50 monthly minimum administration fee. So for example, if a group has 4 participants, they're going to just pay that flat monthly $50 administration fee. And again, this includes everything. No hidden fees with our FSAs. It's all included right here with that setup and monthly fee. Okay, BMS also administers health reimbursement arrangements. These fall under Section 105. They are considered, in most cases, a group health plan. The nice thing about using a TPA like BMS is that we can be very flexible with our HRA plan designs. So these are plans in place that the employer funds, and they can reimburse employees for anything from out-of-pocket, deductible and co-insurance expenses, other out-of-pocket medical costs, and even in some cases, premiums can be reimbursed through an HRA. Those are some new benefits that we'll talk about in a few slides here. Every dollar that an employee is reimbursed from an HRA is non-taxable to them. So that's a great benefit to the employee on top of having those reimbursement dollars. It's tax-free. And then, of course, the employer saves on taxes as well when offering an HRA. These are a way for employers to take on higher deductible plans in a lot of cases and reduce their premiums, but then help employees by offsetting that deductible cost through an HRA, where we're reimbursing a portion of the deductible or co-insurance. That's what we call a bridge HRA. It's bridging the deductible or bridging that out-of-pocket cost for the employees. And we can skip this slide. This basically explains what an HRA is. These are all of the HRA options that BMS currently offers. So an integrated bridge HRA is what I just mentioned that reimburses deductible and co-insurance expenses. What we call a comprehensive HRA essentially works like a flexible spending account or an HSA, only it's employer funded. It can cover any Section 213D out-of-pocket expenses, or the employer can limit that. Maybe they only want to cover out-of-pocket medical. We can put that into what we call a comprehensive HRA, meaning it's a little more comprehensive in the types of expenses that it reimburses. We can also administer a limited purpose HRA for dental and vision only. This would be an HRA that's compliant with health savings accounts, just like a limited FSA. So dental and vision only through that HRA if a group's offering an HSA, but they want to give a little extra benefit to employees for dental and vision. We can administer retiree HRAs. A lot of times those are a spend down account. After an employee retires, they might get a set amount of time that they can continue to access HRA funds through this retiree HRA. And some of the newer HRAs that we offer, an accepted benefit HRA, this is also compliant with ACA regulations. It allows us to kind of go around that integrated HRA rule. Right now, HRAs are required to be integrated with a group health plan in order to be compliant with ACA, but there are some exceptions to that rule, like an accepted benefit HRA, which can be offered by any employer, whether or not they're offering a group health plan. There's also waiver HRAs that we offer for employees that might waive a group health plan for enrollment in a spouse's plan. They can receive benefits through a waiver HRA. And then the two that we get questions on most recently here as of late are the individual coverage HRA, also known as the ICHRA or ICHRA, and qualified small employer HRA, also known as QSERA. BMS does administer these plans. We're seeing more and more implemented, especially the ICHRA. These are ways for employers to bypass the regulations or requirements, I should say, to offer group health insurance, and it's a way for them to reimburse employees for individual premiums that they have on the individual market or even through Medicare. And our fees for HRAs, this includes all of those options we just reviewed. It's a $500 setup fee, the $150 renewal fee that includes open enrollment every year. It includes updating of plan documents. The plan documents are included with our HRA services. And then our standard fee is $450 per participant per month. That's without an HRA debit card. With an HRA debit card, which can be offered with certain plans, it's $550 per participant per month. And that's for bridge, post-deductible, comprehensive, limited, accepted benefit, and retiree HRAs. And they have that $50 monthly minimum. Okay, and just real quick on the ICHRA and the QSERA that we discussed. Again, BMS offers administration of both of these plans. So the QSERA is an HRA that can be offered by any employer that's not an ALE, that's not an applicable large employer, that does not offer any group health benefits. So that includes a medical plan, dental, vision. They cannot be offering any group health benefits to their employees if they want to offer that QSERA. In order to participate in a QSERA, the employee must be enrolled in minimum essential health coverage. So when BMS administers these plans, we do require and provide an attestation form for employees to fill out, confirming that they do in fact have minimum essential coverage. They're required to include the name of that coverage on the form that they're completing, just so that the employer and BMS has that on file when we are providing reimbursements to that employee, confirming that they attested to the fact that they have minimum essential coverage. And the QSERA can reimburse insurance premiums as well as other out-of-pocket health expenses, those expenses that fall under Section 213D. The employer can choose to offer reimbursement of just premiums, or they can open it up to reimburse all of those medical expenses, and that's up to an IRS allowed annual amount, which does change a little bit each year. For 2024, the limit on a QSERA is $6,150 if you have single coverage, and for those that have family, it's $12,450. And then the individual coverage, or ICHRA, that can be offered by any employer. It can be a large employer. It can even be an employer that's offering group health benefits. The rule is, though, that they cannot offer a traditional health plan to employees and the ICHRA to that same group of employees. So, for example, an employer could offer traditional health coverage to their full-time employees. Maybe they don't want to do that for part-time. They could offer the ICHRA to their part-time employees. And the ICHRA can reimburse individual insurance premiums, and it is restricted to individual insurance or Medicare. So employees that participate in that benefit, in order to get reimbursed from the HRA, they have to have individual insurance coverage or Medicare coverage. The HRA can also reimburse other out-of-pocket health expenses, and there is no limit to what can be reimbursed through the HRA. There's no reimbursement or contribution limit for the year. It just has to be, the same across the board for similarly situated employees. And our fees for the ICHRA and the QSERA are a little bit different. Both of those plans do require a very specific notice that has to be furnished to employees. BMS does provide that notice, which is the reason that our fees are a little bit higher on these plans. It's a $500 setup fee, $150 renewal, and then it's $750 per participant per month. That does include a debit card with a $75 monthly minimum on those two HRA benefits. Okay, and our administration includes, again, the plan documents that are required, routine updates, our dedicated customer service staff, the employer-only website that we reviewed. We can also provide HRA reimbursements via ACH, or we can accept funding via ACH or via check. And again, we are integrated with Employee Navigator. Employees get that daily claims processing and twice weekly reimbursements with HRA as well. They can receive their reimbursement via direct deposit, and all HRA participants do have access to our website and mobile app. Okay, the next benefit that we administer is health savings account. We do offer HSA services. The HSA, of course, is a tax-deferred, participant-owned bank account that employees enrolled in a high-deductible health plan can participate in. Of course, as I'm sure you know, anybody that's in an HSA qualified HDHP can go out to pretty much any bank and open up an HSA on their own, but many employers do prefer to have a TPA in place to administer those. We're going to act as a compliance and customer service base, whereas a bank may not. We will keep track of all contributions. We'll help the employer get those deposited and help employees keep track of their payments, their tax forms, everything that goes along with administration of the HRA. This is just some real quick rules on the HSA. Of course, it's similar to an actual checking or savings account. This benefit is owned by the employee. It is portable. It goes with them. If they are to leave employment, those dollars stay with them forever. And we just have some notes here about who can and cannot participate in the HSA, even if they are in a high deductible health plan. Of course, employees that are covered by, say, a spouse's flexible spending account cannot participate. They can't have Medicare coverage. They can't be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return, and can't have a spouse's flex spending account. The HSA is limited to the IRS contribution maximum that they set each year. It is indexed. I believe we might have that on the next slide for 2024, those limits. Yes. So for this year, it's $4,150. If you have single coverage, a family policyholder can contribute $8,300 into their HSA this year. And as always, there is a $1,000 HSA catch-up provision for account holders that are 55 or older. And our HSA includes a lot of the same benefits that we do with the flex spending account and the HRA. Again, we are here to provide compliance and guidance on the HSA rules and regulations, how they work with things like flexible spending accounts and HRAs. We provide updates each year when those maximums are released, and any other updates that that may come out regarding HSAs. We have multiple options for the ways that employers can report HSA contributions to BMS. There is a way for them to upload themselves. We can automate it. They can send us a check with a report. We're flexible there. Employees get access to their HSA via the BMS consumer website and mobile app. Our HSAs have lots of investment options. So for employees that are building up their balance in their HSA, they definitely should look at investment opportunities. That is actually something that BMS will be pushing this year as far as education, is reminding HSA account holders that they do have those investment opportunities, because we have found that many either just don't know about it or aren't sure how to go about investing their funds. So we will, in the second and third quarter this year, be pushing education on investment opportunities for HSA to encourage everyone to use those and get that benefit. Then our HSA fees, again, we've got the $500 setup fee. HSA is a $450 per participant per month admin fee with the $50 monthly minimum. As long as the employee is with the company that's utilizing BMS for their HSA administration, we charge no monthly account maintenance fee. So we found that that's pretty rare. Usually a custodial bank will charge at least a few dollars per month to the account holder. We waive those. Again, no charge for our cards. Debit card transactions are unlimited with no fee. Online access is included. There's no minimum balance requirement to have the HSA open. We do have a $2,000 minimum balance requirement to use the investment options, and that's just to ensure that someone's not tying up all of their money in investments and then scrambling to access and liquidate those investments if they have, a medical emergency come up. So that's just in place to help employees manage their HSA money. Okay, and I know this is hard to see, but this is just a few screenshots of our employer website. Again, it's very user-friendly. It's pretty clean cut. There is a tab for employees where you can manage employee information, report terminations, add new employees. Again, the reporting is comprehensive. There's numerous reports available out at the employer site. It is secure. There is a way to upload information to BMS directly through the website under the request tab, and that will securely upload any comments, files, forms right over to our processing system for us to quickly and easily address. And there's no limit to the number of logins we can set up for an employer website. So multiple employer contacts as well as brokers can have access. This is the BMS consumer website. Again, we feel like this is pretty user-friendly. It allows employees to check their balance right there on the main landing page. They can choose to reimburse themselves or just manage their expenses. There's a way for them to track that on the website. They can save files for themselves personally here. There is a task bar at the main landing page that will let them know if we are requesting receipts for debit card payments that they've made with their FSA card, or if there's a claim that needs reviewed for any reason, they will be notified immediately there on the landing page. There's also a message center that sends them a message anytime there's been activity on their account. Password change, claim reimbursement, a debit card payment. It's all there at the message center. So any notifications they might need are under that center. They can also sign up to receive notifications via email and text message in addition to those messages. And then this is our mobile app. It has all the same features as the website. It's free to download in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Okay, and then outside of the tax-free medical spending benefits is COBRA and retiree billing retiree billing administration that BMS offers. Of course, COBRA is a federal requirement for most employers with 20 or more lives in the prior calendar year that are offering medical benefits. Plans that are subject to COBRA, of course, your medical insurance, dental, vision, some EAP plans, HRAs, and flexible spending accounts, all are subject to COBRA guidelines. Of course, COBRA is quite a liability. Failure to comply with COBRA laws can lead to significant fees and financial consequences and legal consequences for employers. This is a list of everything that's included in our COBRA and retiree billing administration. Essentially, we are managing all parts of the COBRA process except for communication with the carriers. I do like to note that that is not automatic with our COBRA process. However, we simply just need to be provided with contact information for a carrier for any particular group, and then we can have contact with them. We can be the ones to notify the carrier of any COBRA terminations or COBRA enrollments. If that's not specifically set up, just keep in mind that it is on the employer or the broker, whoever's handling that for a particular group, to notify carriers of terminations of COBRA enrollments. BMS will notify the employer and the broker if someone elects COBRA. We email copies of their COBRA election form as well as confirmation of their first payment. We will not notify you to reinstate coverage until that first payment is received to make sure that that process has actually been implemented. We have free online services for COBRA. We have monthly reporting that we issue to go along with our remittance back to the employer to help them reconcile any COBRA premiums that BMS accepted in the prior month. Okay, and again, we include preparation of all required COBRA notices, notification to the employer upon receipt of the election. We collect the premiums from any COBRA participants and then remit those back to the employer on a monthly basis. And we are always here, always to help with COBRA legislation topics. Any off-the-wall questions that you might receive regarding COBRA, we've seen and heard it all. We're always happy to assist with those. And we do accept feeds for COBRA as well. Again, we are integrated with Employee Navigator and can accept feeds from any other file carriers, and there is no charge for that. Retiree billing is something that we administer not nearly as much as COBRA, but we do have retiree billing capabilities in place, managing the process of billing and collecting premiums for employer-sponsored benefits from self-paying retirees, former employees, if an employee is on a leave of absence. And this just, helps the employer, helps HR not have to track all of those payments. BMS is able to easily do it through our COBRA processing system. It's tracked all the same way. We have reporting capabilities. We handle the notifications, the enrollments, and of course the collection and remittance of those premiums. Our COBRA setup fee is one-time $250 and then a $150 annual renewal fee. That does include open enrollment notices to any COBRA participants. We will send them a personalized open enrollment letter when we get the new year rates. We are also happy to include any benefit summaries, SBCs, anything like that that you might want to include during open enrollment. We will send out to the current participants if we're furnished with those documents. Our fee is 55 cents per employee per month, and that's based on the number of employees enrolled in the medical plan at the start of the year. And that fee remains the same unless there's a 10% or more change in enrollment, whether it be an increase or a decrease. Otherwise, that monthly fee will stay the same for the duration of the year. And we do have a $50 monthly minimum for COBRA services as well. This is our COBRA employer site that all employers and brokers will have access to. Again, there's no limit with the number of logins we can set up for this. I've said it before, but this site is very easy to navigate, very user-friendly. On the left side of the screen, you'll see the main landing page, what we call the dashboard. There's just a few tabs involved here. The group info tab just has plan information and rates. The events tab is what you'll use to report qualifying events or any new enrollments for initial notices. That can all be reported here at the COBRA employer site. And there's also a tab for reports to show activity as far as what notices BMS has mailed out, who's paid premiums, things like that. Okay. And I think now we'll open it up for any questions.
Thanks, Shannon. Lindsay, I think there is, do you see any questions? Might be looking in the wrong section. Lindsay, do you see any questions there? I don't think I see anything at the moment. Yeah, I think that was extremely thorough, Shannon, and we appreciate all the great info. As you can see, this is a great alternative to some of the other vendors out there for small business, and we are excited. We've already placed a lot of groups of yours, a variety of different brokers with BMS already, and we're looking forward to a long relationship. So if there are no other questions, we obviously will make this presentation available as stated in the question chat area. And without, just check in with your broker advisor or director if you need more information or have a specific group that you would like to get a quote on. They do a formal kind of pricing sheet for you that is personalized with your group name. So reach out and we can get those going for you. And the setup is very easy, and a lot of good online and literature that is available in our document center. So Shannon, thank you so much in sharing information about the services at BMS, and we wish everyone a good day.
Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.